Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This video is going to be doing my weekly review for GOT, Game of Thrones. This one for Season 3, Episode 5. We're halfway through Season 3. This one's called Kissed by Fire. Alright, so back again to do another review for Game of Thrones. Another week, another review. Halfway through Season 3 at this point. Definitely, I think the season has picked up. I think it started off a little slow, but last week's episode, episode 4, was amazing, especially with Daenerys and everything that happened with her, with the Night's Watch, everything with the crows was great. This week, following up after it, we got to see some great scenes in this one as well, too. Start off, and we get to see the Hound fights against Egrit and Dundarian, and I like that sword fight. It was very well done, I thought. You got the fire and everything, pretty exciting. Get the episode started off really well, right to some fast action. So, of course, the Hound wins, even though, now I was a little bit like, oh, he's going to win because he's afraid of fire, of course, obviously. But he manages to win anyway because he's just a frickin' monster. And interesting to see, though, that Aria and Gendry is able to die, and then because of his, the Lord of Light's magic, he's able to sort of come back. We've seen that before last season with Melisandre and killing Renly Baratheon from Stannis, obviously. So it was cool to see a little bit more of the magic elements, just a few, just a touch, nothing serious, but just a little bit of a touch. So that was nice to see. Good sword fight, can't go wrong with a real nice sword fight. Moving on from there, we get to see Jon Snow. And he's basically informing Mance Rayder's men, the wildlings, of how many men there are on the wall, what the situation is with them, and what they can do. So they got 1,000 men, and Mance Rayder looks like they're going to have to climb the wall or do something crazy there. So that should be fun to see. Then we get to see Lord Bolton and Jaime being returned into captivity, one-handed, but at least allowed to take a bath. Which is good, because we don't know when the last time was he was able to actually do that. Bran, of course, is with him, and they do have a pretty cool scene where they, are both in a bath, and he's just kind of like spilling his guts to her about why he's been named Kingslayer and what happened with him and everything like that. So, a pretty good scene. We also get to see Jon with Ernit, or is it Urt, or whatever, the wildling chick. And I felt like that scene went on a little bit too long. I mean, it was okay and everything because it was a long time coming, but they should have probably shortened it down a little bit. I would say maybe a couple of minutes would have been long enough. That went on for quite a while. It was like what, like 7 or 8 minutes of that. So I don't know. It was a long episode though. You get a full hour, like a full solid hour of Game of Thrones without any commercials included or anything like that. So that's really nice to see. Really cool. Let's see, we get Baelish and Cercei. They're kind of talking. Tyrian and Granny Tyrell, they're talking as well. So we're starting to get to see some interesting things happen politically between those two powerhouse families. We got Aria and Gendry. Gendry's going to stay with the Brotherhood, and Arya's going to be pawned off, basically, or sold, so to speak. Let's see, Lannister kids get slaughtered by... by Lord Rickard, and then, of course, all of the Karstock men leave, so basically almost half of Robb's army has disbanded. So he's basically, at this point, it seems like it's the beginning of the end for him. We basically know he's screwed at this point, and what is he going to do? So now it seems like he's going to decide to try to take Castle Rock, their home, and we'll see what happens with that. But he doesn't have the men anymore. He doesn't have the forces. Tyrells and Lannisters, the joint between the two of them, it's just too many. He's going to be outnumbered. He probably wouldn't have been able to win anyway, unless, earlier on he could have somehow coordinated with Stannis, and they could have sort of attacked together, so to speak. I would think that's the only way it probably could have gone his way. So, I mean, kind of sucks because me personally, as watching the show, reading the books and everything, I really wanted to see Robb Stark be the one to get Joffrey and to make the Lannisters pay for what they did to Ned. Or, I mean, Arya would have been cool too, but just really wanted to see that happen. And it is quite a bit of a letdown that we're not going to see something like that happen and him get his vengeance, so to speak. And to make matters even worse, he's probably not going to be able to even make it out of this alive. So we'll see how that turns out. Don't want to spoil anything for anybody who doesn't read the books or anything or doesn't know what's going to happen. So that's where Robb is at. But it was still exciting to see what happened with him and what he was going to do, and then see the actual beheading and everything, because I did feel like it was deserved, but, I mean, he did what he really couldn't have done. I mean, he was in sort of a bad position, so it was a conflict of interest, but he really shouldn't have beheaded him. I mean, that's for sure. Even if it was justice or whatever the situation may be, he made the wrong choice, even though ethically it was the right choice. So again, George R.R. Martin just forcing it down our throats. In the real world, if you're going to be ethical and all of these things, be moral and be the good person, you're going to get screwed. At least when it comes to his world. Game of Thrones. If you try to be honorable and ethical in Game of Thrones, you're done. You will not last a week. Absolutely. So there's that. Then we get to see an update with Stannis and what's going on with him. We get to meet his actual wife, which we've never met in the series before, which was fairly weird and kind of interesting. Weird how she's telling him that Melisandre told her everything, and she's got these, she's got the babies in some kind of liquid, I don't know, containment jar things. Very strange. And that whole thing was just weird. Also seeing his daughter with her face and everything. It's just really, really strange. So, and we get to see Sir Davos again a little bit. Robb screws himself. We get to see a scene with Faggy Tyrell. Oh, yeah, that's great. Painful to watch. And then there's Sansa, of course. And to finish it all up at the end, we see basically Tywin has decided that Tyrion is going to marry Sansa and Cercei is going to marry Lawrence Tyrell. So, man, Tywin just doesn't give a shit about his kids at all. He just does what he makes them serve, him as if they owe him their lives, as if they are a tool to be used for the family name to just perpetuate this Lannister bloodline and make it the most powerful family there is, and that they'll do anything in order to do that, even marry, have Tyrion marry Sansa, who's basically a little girl compared to him, and then have Cercei marry Loras, who's gay anyway. So that wouldn't work anyway. So it'll be fun to see the next few episodes and everything. I love developments like that where you really, a lot of political things happening and everything like that. And we got to see some good action this episode. So overall, I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a great episode. Maybe not quite as good as last week's because we got to see Daenerys just go crazy on the slavers and everything, so that was a lot of fun. But I definitely like the developments with the Lannisters in this one and with Robb. I mean, overall, we started really with those two anyway, and everything else has happened afterwards has loomed out to Stannis and all these other things with the wall and beyond the wall and everything. But, I mean, at the beginning, really, our core focus was the Starks and the Lannisters. So it's nice to see that unraveling, finally coming to an end, and it may be painful to watch fairly soon. So we'll see. If you if you're like a masochist, then you'll keep watching Game of Thrones. If you like certain characters, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but if you're a masochist, you'll like Game of Thrones. So I don't know. I know a lot of people really at this point are not feeling the show anymore. A lot of people are not watching it anymore that they used to watch it. And I can definitely see why, because, all the good characters just consistently lose or get killed or bad things happen to them. And Joffrey still hasn't gotten his chance to pay yet. So a lot of people are losing it on the series. But I still love Game of Thrones. I do enjoy it. I look forward to watching it every week. And I look forward to doing the review for it. Although I may start making my Game of Thrones reviews a little bit quicker, because I don't think many people actually watch them all the way through. If you are watching this all the way through at this point, please write in the comments, say, Trev, I watched it all the way through. And I'll know, because if you hadn't, then you wouldn't know to write it. So there you go. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought about the episode and about the series. Are you still into it? Are you still, every week waiting for it, tuned in, can't wait to see it? Or are you kind of losing it? Because I know just from the traffic of views and stuff in my videos and stuff like that, it seems to me like a lot of people are kind of losing it from Game of Thrones. A lot of people and friends I've talked to and stuff, they're like, oh, Season 2 was great. Season 3, I watched the first couple episodes. No, I can't take it. So let me know what you guys think about it. I'll call it here for this video. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev. I'm saying peace. Please subscribe if you haven't.